Good morning. Happy Thursday. That first sip in the morning, nothing beats it. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hobby Evolution episode 480. We're talking mail today. And ironically, literally 30 seconds ago, I get an alert on my phone. There's a new post in one of my Facebook groups, and it's an article from Yahoo. Looks like it was published 2 days ago, but it just popped up ironically as I'm going to be talking about the USPS today, about counterfeit stamps. So I'm just going to add that to the list of USPS topics to discuss this morning. So how's it going? We've got Zach. Good morning to you. Andrew's with us. Ed, good morning. Jenny, good morning. It's much warmer this morning. Jenny, I hope it's warm where you were in comparison to yesterday morning. It's actually, holy cow. I'm going to do the math. I still use my fingers to count. So it's about 40 degrees warmer right now than it was this time yesterday morning. 40 degrees warmer right now than it was this time yesterday. And it's only 22 degrees. It's actually warmer where Jenny is. It's 28 degrees, literally 50 degrees warmer. I've got 22 here. So a little chilly, but it's going to feel great. I might not even wear a coat to go to the mailbox later this morning. So I've been talking with, I don't know, one of my group texts, and I'm like, I'm just looking at Saturday's forecast. Madison Card Show this Saturday, 9 to 2, Sheraton Hotel, Madison, Wisconsin. Sold out show, 71 tables. I think I'm at 44 vendors. I had another cancel yesterday. Had to move up to the waiting list. So I think I'm only at like 2 people on the waiting list. So I'm just, it's I think 7 below zero is going to be the temperature when I'm unloading. And unfortunately, I have 2 loads to take in. So it's going to be a little chilly Saturday morning, but I'd rather have -7-degree temperatures than any type of precipitation in the winter. So I will take the 7 below zero as long as I get no snow, ice, rain, mix, all that jazz. So at this point in time, which now we get a couple days out, we have a good idea if there's going to be any precipitation moving in the near future, and there's nothing in the forecast, at least as of last night. So that's all I care about. No snow, no ice. I'll take the cold. 22, where Zach is. Good morning to Diego. What's up? As soon as sunrise at 8 a.m., I'm taking the dog out for a walk. What's up, George? Good evening to you. My mail is just stuck due to the Lunar New Year holiday. They closed down deliveries for a week. What's up, Dan? So Diego says, can my name be on the waiting list just because? Yeah, I'll put you on the list. Boost my numbers, I guess, right? I did some shopping last night before I go into the top. I did some shopping last night. I still have a Christmas gift card, and it was kind of burning a hole in my pocket. So I did make one purchase, and it's just like, I might as well just piss away the whole gift card. I might as well just buy another card. So I bought one card, and I was kind of looking at another. I went down that rabbit hole because I like old autographs, and I happened to find one player that I was comparing prices on a 1917 card, and so I Googled the player, and there's an autograph, and I think it was from Leaf Cut Signatures, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I get in this mode of looking at old autographs, and I want to my goal is to find the oldest autograph of a Cubs player for the franchise that dates back to 1876. Right now, I have an autograph from a player who was on the 1898 team. There's one out there of a player who played for the 1885 Cubs, but it's on like a letter. And the player is actually, his name is Theodore Kennedy. He was the inventor of the catcher's mitt, and he was actually born not far from where I grew up. He was born in Henry, Illinois, which is on the Illinois River or close by, which is about a half an hour, 45 minutes from where I grew up. Um, and actually, the seller of this particular item, big time autograph collector and seller. I've bought several items from him before, so I don't doubt the authenticity. It's kind of it bled through because I'm sure it was a fountain pen or whatever that was. So the ink kind of bled through the paper. So it's a really rare autograph. He died in 1907, so it's not like too many of these autographs come up. Although, and so the guy knows his stuff because, and I love reading the descriptions. And I've actually conversed with him via message before because I was asking about Cap Anson. Are there any Cap Anson autographs out there? And he said, yeah, they're not common, but they're not uncommon. If that makes any sense. So in his description, he states that there are other Ted Kennedy autographs out there, like on checks. But and the reason this is priced as low as it is because of the bleed through. So it's like on my, but it's like I can buy, like I'm a card guy, like I'm an autograph guy. I collect autographs and I like the odd and the old. But it's like, man, I could have a nice Joe Tinker card for what I would spend on that. Let's see. George, are you drunk again? Dan says, inventor of the baseball catchers. Yep, Ted Kennedy. Died in 1907, played on the 1885 Chicago White Stockings, which a lot of people confuse with the White Sox. The White Stockings were actually the Cubs till they changed. They were the White Stockings from 1876 into like 1900, 1901, somewhere in there. Dan, if you're on Wikipedia, you can check my work on this, but I think the Cubs name came about in like the early 1900s. There was about a decade, at the turn of the century, where the Cubs went by many different names. They were known as the Orphans mainly, and then they finally stuck on the Cubs. I am in fact on the way, Jenny. LOL. So let's talk mail, and this has been a common theme, a common topic that just continues to be addressed on social media and talked about. Where's my damn mail? We're seeing delays in the mail. When I go to the post office, there's and I mentioned this before, and I've talked about how the parking situation just sucks at my local post office and all that. There's always a line, and I saw just crazy. There were times where I didn't check my mailbox for 2 weeks during the height of the holiday season, just because the parking situation sucks, and the line was curving around in the lobby, and you'd have to ask 7 people to move just to get to my mailbox. So I'm just dropping everything off in the blue boxes. So, and it's still it's not to that extent. It's not holiday extent, but it's still long lines in the post office because there's nobody to work. People are down, people are not working, and people are down due to COVID, or other illnesses. And so there's just a shortage of staff at these post offices. So that's one big reason on, why things are taking a little or a lot longer, is because of the staff shortages that we're seeing, not just at the post office, but everywhere. The grocery store I go to, good Lord, when we went to the store the other day, there's one checkout, and this poor guy works 90 hours a week at the checkout. This dude, every time I'm there, he is working a cash register, and usually he's the only one. And then you had, it's the line went halfway back the frozen aisle, and then there was there's 6 self checkouts, which are super annoying at a grocery store, but sometimes there's one checkout and the line goes half a mile. I hate using the grocery store self checkouts, but sometimes it was a need on Monday when we went, and then we we finish up, and like some lady that was behind us tried to take a spot, and the guard, the employee that watches the self checkout's like, oh, sorry, there's a line, and the line like snaked. It's like, gee, Sooks. So we're seeing a lot of that. So Jenny, I did not see that. Jenny says, did you all see the heated discussion? I ended up accidentally starting last night with a standard envelope. If it was after 9 p.m., probably not, because I'm like getting ready for bed, but I'm going to have to go this out. So let's just, since we're on the topic, let's just go into standard envelope and talk about it. Holy cow, Jenny. Jenny went viral. Oh my God. I don't even have to click because I see that there's a lot of discussion. So Jenny's tweet, and I'm not on StreamYard, so I can't show it. I need to freaking learn how to use StreamYard better. 59 replies, 2 retweets, and 137 likes. Jenny went viral. Seller, and her tweet reads, sellers that don't use eBay standard envelopes lose sales, in my opinion. And guess what? She says, in my opinion. Opinions can't be wrong, right? We all know that, George and Herman. Searching eBay tonight and can't tell how many Sino parallels I scrolled past because $4 shipping on a $2 card is not worth it. Amen, Jenny. Maybe I'm in the boat by myself. You are not. I'm in that same boat. I pass so often on $4 shipping because if it's a $2 card, I don't want to pay $6 for a $2 card. So holy cow. I might have to read this later. There's a lot, 50 some comments. I'm not a fan as a seller because of possible envelope damage, head cards damaged in a bubble envelope. And to that comment, I've actually had more damage, and I send 80% of my packages, maybe even more than 80%, go in a PWE. And I've had more damaged items in a bubble mailer than I have in a PWE. So that, and that's, you know, my exact numbers are, what's the word I'm looking for? Anecdotal, but I get far more, and not far more. I mean, the damage is actually very minuscule. Like I've had 1% or less of my items damaged in transit. It's actually probably 0.5% or less. And a majority of that 0.5 to 1% are in bubble mailers. Let's see. There are also people who aren't doing their previous jobs because they quit to sell baseball cards. Amen to that. There sure are. Dan says the White Stockings played their first game against the Union Club of St. Louis. I don't really recognize the 1870 to 1876 era because it wasn't part of the National League. So National League was formed in 1876. That's when the lineage kind of begins for the Cubs. And then there was also, and some people also confuse the Chicago Whales of the 19 teens, but they were actually part of the Federal League, and they actually, a lot of the confusion stems from the Chicago Whales of the Federal League built Weigman Field, which later became Wrigley Field just a few years later. So the Chicago Whales of the Federal League, they were the first team that called Wrigley Field home, as actually Weigman Park was the name of that Wrigley originally. The name Cubs first appeared in print 1902. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Early 1900s, gained popularity over the next 4 years. The sole nickname in 1906. Okay, and that's kind of that era, like 1902 to 1906. It was just kind of like, who are we? We don't know. Acknowledged by the team itself in the 07 World Series. Okay. George says, I'm too drunk to research, but you can all go listen to my latest video. It's a short one about November 17th, 1968. Check out George's video, KBO Collections. So where was I at? So standard, let's talk about standard envelope. I'm a huge proponent of standard envelope and PWE shipping. Nothing's going to change on my end. Triple Crown, who's a big consigner and big eBay seller, he announced a few days ago he's done with standard envelope. Everything's going to be shipped bubble mailer just because of the headaches he's having. Fortunately, what's up, Herman? Fortunately, I haven't had many headaches. Now, I'm not going to say I've had zero issues, because there are, and that's just because of the numbers. The more volume you do, the more potential for issues arise. Excuse me. So yes, every once in a while, hey, this is marked delivered, but I never got it. Hey, this has been in transit for 2 weeks, never got it. I get those on occasion. Hey, this says it was delivered today, but I didn't get it. And then you send the email. This is the new standard envelope, blah, 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 blah. It should be in your mailbox today, tomorrow. And it typically is. So it is annoying, but I haven't had it's not slowing me down. It's not preventing me from additional sales. I'm not losing money on it. In fact, the reason why so I used to use, and I can piggyback onto the next topic of counterfeit stamps. I used to use old stamps from a stamp, my stamp guy Carl, and so he's a stamp collector, and the stamps that are basically commons in the stamp world, they're basically worth the amount that's on the stamp or less. He would sell to me stamped, and I would get like a Costco, number 10 envelope stamped with 60 cents of postage, and my cost shipped was 38 cents per stamped envelope. Now, if you buy at Costco, you're going to pay 2.5 cents for these on a per envelope, plus your 60 cents, if you use a forever stamp at the post office. So 62.5% cents is what it would cost you using a forever stamp from the post office. Using the standard envelope, the 1 ounce is 53 cents. Tack on the envelope and you're at 55.5 cents. So I was saving, about 17 cents per stamped envelope by using this old method. But I didn't have the tracking, which, pretty much sucks. But the important thing is that insurance claim. So it's all about, risk aversion, how many people are going to claim item not received and that I have to refund compared to an item not received with insurance that I can get my money back. And yeah, it's kind of a hassle to go through that, but at least you're spending a few minutes to save a few bucks. So what I found early on in the program is I'm only spending out $10 a month on item not received claims. If I did standard envelope, 17 cents times 1,000 is $170. So I'm making an additional $160 by using the old method with no insurance backing me up. So financially speaking, it was more it was smarter to do the stamps. Now I don't use the stamps anymore because Carl ran out and doesn't have any stamps to send me. So I'm using standard envelope. So I have I'm spending $200 extra a month in postage. But I do have that, if today Carl reached out to me and said, hey, I can get you a box of stamps, I would say send them now and send the next one whenever you can. Because I'm all about saving that money. If it doesn't show up, just hit the refund and I'm out a couple bucks. It's well worth it. So I'm going to go to the chat real quick. I'll talk about stamps since that article popped up. Let's see. Okay. I got to go way back here. Ed says standard envelope is the best selling tool eBay has given us in some time. I completely agree, Ed. And a lot of people arguing, well, it sucks. The tracking sucks and all that. It's not about tracking. It's about the insurance of, yes, this was sent. If you didn't get it, you get your money back, and so does the seller. It's completely a seller's tool. Don't look at as a seller. Don't look at the tracking. Some people say, I've got some from 2 months ago that still don't say delivered. Who cares? Did the buyer come out and say I didn't get it? If they didn't, they got it. Well, I've got one that hasn't been marked delivered from 2 months ago, and the buyer even left positive feedback. Guess what? The buyer received the card and he was happy with the transaction. Just don't ignore the tracking. Ignore the tracking. If a buyer comes out and says, hey, this says it was delivered 2 weeks ago and I didn't get it, refund the money, file the insurance claim, and be done. It's a lot of people are putting too much thought into it. They're worrying too much. It's just, it is what it is. It's a great seller's tool. And and the thing is, if you don't like it, don't use it. You don't have to use it. But like Jenny says, you're making a lot more money on sales of these lower dollar cards that you wouldn't make because you're adding an additional $4 in postage, and buyers like Jenny and myself, we're not going to spend an extra $4 on that $2 card. We want to, spend 60 cents or free shipping built in to the item cost. So Ed, I completely agree with that. I saw someone else pop up yesterday that was talking about they have like 12 negatives in the last week or so because of the PWE thing, unfortunately. Um, and that can go. So I've got like 6 negatives in the last year, but I also have like 12,000 positives in the last year. So the percentages are decent, but a lot of the so my negatives, and I've gone through these before, and I like to be transparent. I don't like to hide. It's like early on in social media, it's like, oh, I don't want people to see my negatives. It's like, I want people to see my negatives because I want to be honest and upfront. So the latest one was from a buyer who has 15 feedback. Card was damaged because it wasn't in a top loader. Well, the card was in a card saver. Like I've gone through 4 cases of card savers in the last 6 weeks. So I'm going to have to put another order in soon. And this is the first damage claim that I've received. I reached out to the person and they never responded. They never emailed me or messaged me saying, hey, this was damaged. They just left me a negative feedback, and I reached out and I'm like, hey, what happened? No response. So I did reply to that. The other one in the last month was never received card, no communication. Well, I can't follow up with every single transaction. So I'm sorry. I also reached out to that buyer and I said, I'm sorry. You know, please, no communicate. You're the one that didn't communicate with me. I can't, I don't have a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader on every transaction that I do. I'm sorry. And then in the last year, he never checked to see if it ever arrived, never received item, did not get it, sold me a card, printed a shipping label, item never arrived, printed a shipping label, item never arrived. And guess what? These are 6 negative feedbacks. 6 out of the 6, no communication. They just left a negative feedback. So that's annoying. Because if you reach out to me, we're going to get it resolved. If you don't reach out to me and just leave negative feedback, I don't know until I see it. Jenny said I had one guy on there say sellers are scum. Oh, okay, mute him. I just don't have any time at all for negative folk anymore. Life's too short. That's interesting. I'll have to go back and read that thread. George says because folks were saying it was delivered, but they never got it. But that's not on him. That's on the. I love it, George. I will not buy anything for $4 shipping, as none of the cards I buy are even close to that price. Same boat. When I buy, if I'm buying $1 or $2 card, I'm not paying $4 for shipping. It would be helpful if eBay, when purchasing the standard envelope, have an option to upgrade to non-machinable and have that printed on label. Could solve some issues. So Andrew brings up a good point, and he's had some issues where his envelopes are getting returned from his origin sorting facility. So he's dropping them off at the his local post office. They're sending them off to the origin sorting facility. They're marking them non-machinable and sending them back to him, which Jenny, I don't know if you had that issue. Jenny had an issue with her local post office. Ironically, not ironically, but it was so cold yesterday and I had to go to the post office. I didn't want, usually what I do is I go to the post office, I drop off my bubble mailers and boxes inside, and then I've got like a whole bag full of plain white envelopes that I drop off outside in the big blue boxes. It was so cold that I didn't want to, be feeding all these envelopes into the blue boxes outside. So I'm like, I'm going to take, and the reason I do that is because on 2 occasions, 2 for 2, when I've dropped off PWE into my local post office, they put them back in my mailbox saying that they're either non-machinable, additional postage due. So it's like, screw you, I'm going to just put them in the blue boxes that are outside that post office. And guess what? They go through because they're probably not like, if mailed, they must have had like an employee that was bored and they're like needed something to do, so I'm gonna add some work to myself. Whereas in the blue boxes, they just pick them up at the end of the day and send them off to the sorting facility. So we'll see. We'll see if I get any envelopes back because I dropped them off with the rest of my mail inside the post office yesterday. So Andrew's point is about the non-machinable, and I've heard mixed. And I'm what I think. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen any. I've looked this up, and it's just kind of hearsay that the and hearsay both ways. I don't know if it's one way or the other about the standard envelope. The labels that are printed off, are they non-machinable? I am with the understanding that the standard envelope program is all machinable. And the envelope, or if you put a non-machinable stamp, it kind of voids the postage because they can't combine the online postage with the stamp. That's what I've heard. I don't know if there's any truth to that. So I'm with Andrew. I wish there was more clarity on the non-machinable issue. And it's just we are over a year into this program, or almost a year into this program, and there's still so many. And a lot of it's just interpretation at the post office level, and a lot of it's the post office employees. Many of them are not educated on this standard envelope through eBay. Jenny says, George, I'd ask how many positives though to that 12. I mean, I can walk around saying I had to refund 2 buyers this week, but forget to mention the $750 I didn't refund because no issues. Exactly. If I see somebody with 12 negatives, it's initially a red flag. But if it's 12 negatives in the last month and they've done 25,000 positives, I'm okay buying with it because, if you have 1 negative out of 5,000, and that, well, I guess my numbers aren't that good, but I have 6 negatives out of 12,000 or whatever it is. Negatives out of 8,217. So, and how many, and if people don't leave feedback, that's typically a positive transaction. I am terrible at leaving positive feedback for purchases. So so tack on another, maybe 40%, 30% tack on, and those are all if somebody's pissed off and not happy with a transaction, they're going to leave a negative. But if they get it with no issues, they may or may not leave a positive. Let's see. I'm going to go back. Where are we at? Crap. I am way off. Okay, here we are. Andrew says, might lose tracking, but I am watching one where I upgraded at post office to non-machinable on top of label, and it's still origin scanned. Okay, interesting. Andrew, if you do 3 ounce, it will print as 93-cent label, and you can write non-machine on there because non-machine. Oh, that's a good point. And I think I have seen this somewhere because with the recent increase in postage, non-machinable went up so the total cost is 88 cents, where the standard envelope's 53 cents, 73 cents, 93 cents. So if you put 53 or 73, even though 73 was the additional 20, I think it went up to 30 cents for that non-machinable, or 25, whatever that math works out to be. So now if you do 93 cents, it covers that. But I think the issue, and Andrew may say it, I'm not down, I'm not all the way through. Andrew showed me what his envelopes look like, and they're like 1 card. So it sucks for him to spend an extra. He's been putting 73 cents. He shouldn't even have to put 73 cents for what he's sending, because sometimes I send like 4 cards for 53 cents. So he shouldn't even be spending 73 cents on many of the envelopes. And then you go in at 93 cents, that eats into all the margins plus. Um, George says, don't try to taste this chicken. George, the wrench holds no authority for opinions across the pond, no jurisdiction. Jenny, I think that's a great thing myself. It's just some folks are all pissy over the tracking. The tracking. Um, yeah, people are getting too uptight about the tracking. It's not about the tracking. I want to scream it from the mountaintop. Stop looking at the tracking. If it's been a week and you haven't received your item, look at the tracking. Reach out to the seller. Classic Bo sending cards and only a penny sleeve, a penis sleeve. So I wasn't speaking about the PWE program, but rather the tracking aspect, which seems wacky, and it is. What's up, Dan? Good morning to you. Had a negative feedback one time for late shipping because I printed the shipping label on Sunday and Monday was a holiday. That's so people are just. I mean, I had somebody, and I think I even tweeted because their original message was like kind of wacky. And they bought an item on like it, and it was a holiday weekend. I think what holiday weekend? It might have been King. Was it Martin Luther King Day? Must have been Martin Luther King Day. No, it was. I think it was New Year's. Whatever it was, Monday was a holiday, and the post office was closed. And they bought the item on Friday. And said, when can you ship? And I'm like, it'll ship out Tuesday. Saturday afternoon, they messaged me again, hey, when's this going to ship? And I'm like, it's going to go out Tuesday because Monday's a holiday. Some people don't understand. Let's see. Okay. George says folks just need to be understanding about shipping. Like here in Korea, they always go on delivery driver strikes. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I get it when I get it. Andrew says, I've been told that standard envelope is machinable and we are paying a discount because it's metered. And so to upgrade to non-machinable, you lose that discount. And I don't think that's accurate. I really don't think that's accurate. I'd have to, I want to dive more into this and I'm hesitant to, I will ask Andrew, was that the post office that told you? Because I would be hesitant to believe any postal employee says regarding the standard envelope program, because most people, and not just what I've experienced for myself, but everybody's experience, like all of the issues. I shouldn't say all. Most of the issues with the program are spurring because people are talking to the retail clerks, and the retail clerks are, oh, this isn't accurate, this isn't correct. So I would be hesitant to. I don't think the standard envelopes. It could be, but that's the case. George says 100% transparency. Running cards to the machines is no issue for most things. I completely agree with that. I've shipped Korea to US back to Korea in only a penny sleeve without damage on TTMs. And a lot of people, some people got all bent out of shape when I was running and I continue to use my Fujitsu scanner, like on a daily basis, scanned. How many did I do yesterday? I put up over 200 items yesterday, all using the scanner. How do you think cards go through? How do you think cards are printed? They're going through a machine to be printed. So completely with you on that, George. Andrew, send me a DM with your eBay link. That's a great idea because Jenny had some issues with standard envelope. Jenny and Andrew talked that out. Bo, all the ones I had returned, I had them sent back and they went through and didn't come back yesterday. Well, awesome. That is good. Ironically, I get an email from eBay stating I was receiving an early delivery from a Jenny order due in from eBay. Yes, post office from Postmaster. So yeah, I really want to. I wish when the program was unveiled, there was like vague information, and it's just kind of come out, and I'm hesitant to believe anything, really from anybody, including myself. Don't believe what I say. I don't know. How I've treated it is I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's so far everything's working. If something changes, I'm gonna have to figure it out. So speaking of stamps, kind of went off. So this article was published by Yahoo a couple days ago. Um, I had a friend of mine reached out to me, texted me back during the holidays, and he's like, "Hey, there's Forever Stamps. The post office is doing a Black Friday sale on Forever Stamps." And I'm like, "That's no, that's the post office doesn't discount stamps. If you see the post office running a sale on postage, it's 100% a scam because the post office does not do sales on postage. I don't know, but I don't think they can do it. I don't think they're even like super strict. Like you walk into the post office and like I spend so much time at the post office. Like I know, like I can give somebody the walkthrough on a passport. I can give them just because of standing in line watching the people go through these. So, where was I going with this? The stamps. You can't take pictures inside the post office. You can't leave a penny, save a penny type deal. That's I've seen that come up, and they're like, nope, can't do that. So very strict. Anyway, USPS not going to do a deal on stamps, and I'm like, dude, don't buy those. Pretty sure they're not legit. And I'm like, so I was looking all over for this. He said he saw it on Facebook. I'm like, okay, that's number one first sign of a scam. Of a scam. So I was actually in line around the holidays because I had to pick up I had the yellow. There was a lady in front of me, and she's like, "Do you have any of those stamps that are on sale?" And the clerk, and of course the clerks at the cracks me up. The clerks are like most customers of the post office kind of have more idea what's going on with the post office than the post office employees do. The clerk's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the lady's like, oh, well, I saw it on Facebook. There's a Black Friday sale. I just was curious if that was still, because it was after Black Friday. It was like the week after Black Friday. And he's like, no. He's like, somebody else came in asking about that. We don't have any sales going on. So basically, it was $40 Forever Stamps. I saw a lot of it. You see it on Facebook Marketplace. I have. This was like a sponsored ad. I think it was a scam. It's fake. The Forever Stamps are counterfeit. So there was an article on the post office, and they've become aware that it's pretty rampant. And there's a lot of these fake stamps going out there. The Postal Inspection Service says the USPS warns on its website that purchasing stamps from a third-party wholesaler or online websites can be unpredictable, as there is no way for a consumer to verify whether or not a stamp is real themselves. This is why the law enforcement service arm advises that people only buy postage from approved postal providers. Now, if you're buying old stamps like my guy Carl, those are legit. Those are I don't know if I have. Sometimes I keep a couple just for because they're fun to look at, or they have baseball on them. I don't have any next to me, but those are legit, and you can use. Yeah, as long as they're not like postmarked, as long as they haven't been used, you can use a 40-year-old stamp that's 5 cents or 19 cents. As long as you put if it's just a white envelope, as long as you put 60 cents worth of stamps, if they're from 1980 and they're 15 cents each, you put 4 stamps on there, you're good to go. And you can blanket the whole. I've received several flat rate boxes with stamps plastered all over, and the clerks at the post office always get a kick out of it. They're like, oh, somebody had some extra stamps to use. So as long as you put $13, $14, $15, whatever a flat rate, as long as there's enough postage, it's not used, it's legit. Now these newer stamps, these Forever Stamps that you find on Facebook, usually those are watch out. There are legit Forever Stamps. Say somebody had a business that closed 20 years ago, 15 years ago, they had rolls and rolls of Forever Stamps. They just want to liquidate. They're not going to get full retail. They're not going to get 60 cents, in their cost 20 years ago. When did Forever Stamps started? About 20 years ago, I think. They might have only spent 39, 40 cents for those stamps. So if they sell them at 40 cents, heck, it's break even for them. Yeah, over 20 years, it's not a good investment, but um, you know, in some instances, they're just going to sell like, I just want to get rid of these. I want the money. It's kind of dead money. So the other thing I wanted to talk about that just kind of came up about. Let me go to. So I was when I was at my wife's appointment the other day. I was just kind of scrolling through. I had a Nextdoor, and I talked about Nextdoor. It's an app with your neighbors in area neighborhoods, and most of it's just people complaining about dog poop in their front yard, um, or kids wanting to babysit, and then parents needing a babysitter come together. Um, and then in my area, I heard a coyote. I saw a coyote. That's basically next door. So I found this interesting, and I confirmed it. It's an actual um, area neighborhoods. Yeah, there's dog poop in my yard. First world problems. We get on the internet to cry about dog poop. Yeah, that's annoying, but do we have to every annoyance, do we have to go and complain about it on the internet? To some people, yes. So this person wondering, where is your mail? Why is your mail not getting delivered at the time it used to? So one of the area cities, 30 minutes for me, 20 minutes for me, having some, and this person actually, works there in some capacity. Um, Carriers from other cities are coming in to help this particular post office. Some carriers are delivering mail as late as 11 p.m. And I know firsthand, my office upstairs, I look out and I see a mail truck go by a couple times a day, and usually it's a different person each time. And like my regular, I know it's all out of whack because my regular post office guy, like I only see him like once or twice a week. It's usually somebody different, like every day, just because they're scrambling to cover other routes just because of this shortage. So apparently, this particular post office, there's long lines, and I can attest to my local post office. There's long lines. There's only one counter open, where usually there's three in busier times. So that's kind of what's happening. There's a short base where your mail is. It's delayed because and this is happening at not just your local post office, but at sorting facilities and basically anyone that touches mail. And it's creating a backlog. Think of an airport, and when one flight is delayed, how much the repercussions spread the entire nation. One flight gets delayed, and it's the domino effect, and that's what's happening with our shortage, because it's not just one area or one spot. It's all over the place. We're seeing these shortages. So I just wanted to touch on that, and kind of with our discussions recently on standard envelope. Just figured I'd tie it all up and rant about the mail delivery today. Our app was super sad about a month ago. Said shooting happened. Found out it was self-inflicted. We'd ever have shootings. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. I just bought 2 boxes of Heritage Miners at 50 per on a sale at my favorite LCS, Drunk Purchasing. That's a good buy. That's a good buy. I think that's about what I paid. I might have paid a little more than, I'm trying to do the math. That's about, I think, what I paid at release. So that's a good deal. I actually have a case. I have a case of Heritage Miners that I bought Black Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Am I going to be patient and wait 3 years and sell it? That's what I did to the 2018 case I had. What I like about buying cases is that I don't have the itch to rip as much. Yes, it's like, oh, hey, I have that case I can rip. Now my Bowman, I because it's in a brown cardboard box, and there's just a little label that says 2021 Heritage Miners. So if I see it, it's like, ooh, cool, I could open that. But it's not taunting me like the Bowman mega boxes. I have about 30 of them, and those taunt me because they're just sitting there waiting to be opened, and I can just pull right off the shelf and rip into them. But I've abstained. So Of course, you have a case. Yeah, I can't turn down a good Black Friday sale. They got Julio Rodriguez autos, so that could be big this year. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Today's Thursday. I'm going to go out. So AEW Upper Deck cards. They're going to be in retail form, and I think they're going to be out this week. So I think I'm going to hit Walmart. It's 24 degrees. I might put on some shorts. Hit Walmart. Sometimes I think my Walmart. I haven't been out retail hunting in a while. But I'm gonna hoard AEW Upper Deck if I find it. I'm gonna buy every one that I see because I love AEW. And Danhausen debuted last night, and I didn't watch it all. I went upstairs like 8:20, 8:15, 8:20. So I've got to go back and rewatch that because I'm a huge Danhausen. He's goofy as hell. He's on YouTube. He has a bunch of YouTube. He has a YouTube channel and he's on YouTube a lot. His name is Danhausen, Danhausen. His tagline is he's goofy as all get out. Very good, very evil. He talks funny. So he's in AEW now. So I'm gonna go on a retail hunt today. Tomorrow I'll be live, same time, 7 a.m. No show Saturday, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, Madison, Wisconsin. Sold out tables, 71 tables, 44 vendors. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. We haven't had a Madison Card Show since the end of November, so rearing to get back into the circuit. So, and the weather looks okay besides being pretty cold in the morning. And then I'll be on Sunday morning reviewing the Madison Card Show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Thursday, and we'll chat tomorrow.